Welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Mark.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
I'm Uncle Doug.
And this is your user's guide to life on the outside.
That's right. Leaving religion is the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world. Things work differently now.
Never fear. That's why we're here.
We're your audio uncles. And with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields,
We're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge to build a great life.
After all, you only get one that we know of, so you'd better make the most of it.
gents, gentle uncles,
Yes, sir.
here we are. Here we are, episode 92.
That should be a term. Gentle uncles should be a term.
Episode 92. Here we are, the turnery in the coal mine.
The Junkles. Well, gentle uncles are Junkles. So welcome, Junkles. Here we are, as Uncle Doug said, episode 92. This thing just keeps rolling along, no matter how we try to stop it. So,
We just keep screaming into the void.
so Doug, you got a thing you're going to do this week.
Yeah, I think we're turning this show into more of an art critique show, and so I'm going to take us into some art.
It has
that
kind of
is-
gone that direction, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's definitely art. I don't think anyone can argue with that.
We're going to look at some art that is, spoiler alert, terrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's kind of our
Yeah.
thing. We
But
love
don't-
bad art.
But don't let that dissuade you from listening to the show, because at the end we're going to be talking about death. So
We have
Sweet.
tremendous how-to. We had a wonderful guest on, and I think listeners are really going to enjoy this because you know what?
yeah, he was great. He's fantastic.
It's coming for all of us, baby. So best get ready. So let's just dive in
Yeah.
and critique art and get ready to die.
Hey, Uncle Mark,
Yes. Hello, Uncle Dan.
you work in the pretty art industry. You try
Yes,
to make
well-
you try to make the world visually nice.
That's part of my job, and you also work in the arts.
Yeah,
Of course. in
I'm
the
not a
theater
visual.
arts.
I'm not a visual artist though, and how I have so much respect for you visual artists who are able to create something for a feast for our eyes. And I think Uncle Doug, you have you're going to tell us about someone else who
Yeah.
has that
Yes.
beautiful ability.
Prepare to have that streak broken.
A feast for your rage, I think. Is,
A bitter, disgusting feast.
Well,
Yes.
indeed. There's so many awful subjects we have to cover on this show that I thought for a change we could binge on some empty carbs and discuss the ever-expanding and ever more deranged oeuvre of Utah-based artist and comedy delight, Jon McNaughton.
Jon McNaughton.
He's a peach.
Although he's been painting for years, he has of late been called the Trump administration's unofficial artist.
Yeah.
Oh well, Hitler got Leni Riefenstahl, President Trump gets Jon McNaughton.
Or as I like to call him, Mormon Rockwell.
It's perfect.
Oh my God. Okay. So, who is Jon McNaughton? He was born in Mesa, Arizona in 1967 and then moved to Orem, Utah in 1983.
Lateral
our-
move.
Yeah.
Lateral move.
For our Nevermo listeners, Orem is the Medina of Mormonism. After an quote-unquote art degree from BYU and a failed attempt at selling annuities to gullible Mormons, this is true, a mysterious and unnamed benefactor, a quote, former executive from the Ford Motor Company, infused John with enough capital to follow his dream.
Aw.
Yeah, there's
Where do
this-
you get one of those?
I know, right? There's this free book available, ebook available on his website that tells his story and explains in great detail some of his art. Do not read this ebook.
for a guy who tried to sell annuities, putting a free book online, he is
know, right?
kind of a financial whiz.
Yeah, I read the majority of this book. Do not do it.
Okay.
In the early 2000s, he began painting mostly pretty mediocre landscapes and then some religious, mostly biblical content. Until 2008, that is, when the unspeakable happened. And Jon McNaughton made the decision that he could no longer sit on the sidelines. No, now he would sit on the sidelines and pump out some of the most comically heavy-handed and ham-fisted glimpses into the frenetic conservative religious mind we're ever likely to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so let's just say subtlety was not his game. He was not into the into the mixed messaging.
Not
He's-
part of his...
He's the
Yeah.
John of Patmos of Mormon painting,
Exactly.
right?
So now I recommend going to his website and perusing his work. So if you want to follow along at home, Go to johnmcnaughton.com, dim the lights, open a nice bottle of Beaujolais, put on Ravel's Bolero, and get ready for some high-octane crazy.
Bolero.
If contemplating
God.
Picasso's Guevara could be considered a high watermark for politically motivated art meant to evoke a response, then viewing McNaughton's art is equivalent to blasting across the Alkali Flats, strapped to the hood of a jet-powered, monkey-navigated nitro funny car, while loudspeakers blast Sean Hannity and Humunculus tells the people of the refinery to leave the gasoline and walk away. Just walk away.
I don't even know that if I understood any of that.
I am so proud of that. Reference is a combination of Homer Simpson's Wedding Vows and the plot for Road Warrior.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. It was that crossover was coming. It was bound to happen.
So,
Which sounds just like one of his paintings, actually.
Exactly.
So.
That's exactly right. McNaughton's art has been critically acclaimed around the world. Wait, sorry, I read that wrong. Has been universally panned and laughed off the wall by tax-hiking, government-expanding, latte-drinking, sushi-eating, Volvo-driving, New York Times-reading, body-piercing, Hollywood-loving liberal critics from around the world.
Yeah.
But do you know who has a very high opinion of Jon McNaughton's work?
John McNaughton?
I'll give you, John, if you want. Yes. Here's how John describes himself on his website and in his ebook. Quote, Jon McNaughton is an established artist from Utah. Okay.
Great.
Way to sell it. Whose new paintings have attracted the international attention of millions over the last few years.
That is true.
That's true. And quote, Jon McNaughton is the most talked about conservative artist in America today. All right.
Maybe.
He goes on to ask...
it depends on whether you want to call Scott Baio an artist.
All I'm saying is, in this particular sentence, the phrase "conservative artist" is a complete phrase, and those aren't two different descriptors. No. He's talking about a category.
It's specific,
which is conservative artists.
So
right.
He goes on to ask, is it possible that something as simple as a painting can make a difference? Most people are visual learners. These paintings are filled with fine details, carefully thought out metaphors and symbols that add to the viewer's experience. Yes, just wait till we grapple with these nuanced metaphors.
I love the concept of something as simple as a painting, because he doesn't go for simple.
Simplicity and nuance are not part of his work.
Yeah.
For our purposes today, I have broken his work into three periods: his kind of patriotic pre-Obama days, his Obama period, and his Trump period. So let's have a look at some of his art before we dive into his Obama and Trump periods.
It's always a special time when a girl gets her first period.
Now, on his website, for some of these more populated works, there is an interactive function where you can hover over the faces and get their name and some biographical information.
Yeah.
And that's really the best kind of art, where you need also a digital key to understand just what the fuck is going on.
Right.
His descriptions and explanations are equal parts voluminous and totally unnecessary.
Let me tell you something. If any of our listeners has any prowess in web development at all and is willing to put in the time, I will create the content with them, and we will take all of Da Vinci's work and hover over it with similar explanations, or all of the famous masters.
All of Da Vinci's work. I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into.
Well,
buddy.
all 8 of his paintings or whatever. He only did like 11 paintings. I won't get into the drawings.
So let's see if we can parse the nuance and penetrate the dense metaphorical world he has created.
Oh my goodness, we're in trouble.
Let's start with One Nation Under God. This is one of his most famous paintings.
Yeah.
Here we have Jesus Christ showing off the Constitution.
Just standing in the middle of the painting.
Yeah.
Is it Jesus Christ? I think it's more Kenny Loggins, to be honest.
There's a whole tableau of randos around him. You've got your various and sundry political figures, along with, from his website, a pregnant woman looking over at a disabled child saying to herself, "I want to keep my baby."
What?
This is from the website. These are characters in the painting.
Yeah.
We have a liberal professor clinging to his copy of On the Origin of Species.
Yeah, you should mention that he has segregated people out
Right.
into various groups. So you're now in the bottom right portion of
Bottom
the
right quadrant of
Let's
this.
let's assign some just broad terms. I would say that group we can just call probably
evil
Jews.
Well, funny you should say that. There is also the greedy lawyer counting his mad stacks of cash. No hint of anti-Semitism there. Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah, and it's not like he looks Jewish at all.
Jesus. We've got a smug-looking Mr. Entertainment, formerly Mr. Hollywood. He changed the name for some reason.
Probably because he put Hollywood into the name of one of the. Didn't he put Hollywood into the name of one of the other guys?
We're going to see that his talent for painting is only matched by his talents for naming his paintings.
Because you mentioned that there was in your notes to us that there is also liberal Hollywood professor. Now you tell me what the hell that means.
Oh, that's in another one. That's right.
Oh,
oh God. Okay. We also have a slanted liberal reporter who's apparently, according to the website, asking the pregnant woman, is she really going to keep her baby?
What the fuck does that have to, like, is that a question lawyers ask people? Like, what the fuck is this?
Now I'm sure you're going to get to who's flanking. You said various political figures.
Oh yeah,
they're not current political figures.
No, well,
we've got Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. We got George Washington. We've got Abraham Lincoln. And I love that Abe Lincoln is looking at the the downright
evil group
with his arms out. He's on his knee. He's taking a knee and he's looking at them like, "The fuck are you guys doing,
Mammy?"
And then John Adams is next to him going, "Look, it's Jesus! Aren't you looking?"
I know. There's Ronald Reagan's always in there. Abraham, John Adams. You know, these guys have such a founding father fetish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a little boy pointing to the 3/5 clause in the Constitution. That's very spirited. I really appreciate that poignant moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's move on to Justice for All. This is another extremely populist tableau. In the center we have Moses.
Yeah.
He's in the center of the frame. He's surrounded by various important lawgivers from history, including, as we mentioned, George Washington, Ronald Reagan, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, et al.
I count 39. Cast. I count 39 people in this painting.
They start to go into the esoteric, like Border Patrol agent Brian Terry, who was killed by Mexican gangsters with weapons supposedly acquired from the Fast and Furious scandal. We have sniper Chris Kyle of American Sniper fame.
Oh my God.
Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas, both now deceased. And no?
No.
You sure? All right.
I think someone should check on Clarence. Someone should check on Clarence.
Clarence might be still humming.
We've got Condoleezza Rice in there because she's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Then there are the downright fucking upsetting ones like Sally Ride, a Native American in full eagle feather garb named Indian Nations, a nameless slave, and Harriet Tubman. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. And all standing in front of the Acropolis? What are they standing in front of?
Yeah, I don't know.
Supreme Court. That's the Supreme Court.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. If you're not pissed off enough already, I can toss in Billy Graham and Phyllis Schlafly in this.
Yay!
Yay!
So many good people.
Harriet Tubman and Indian Nations are two, things that conservatives have always championed.
Right? Yes, exactly.
They've really always been part of boostering that.
Cultural and historical appropriation are certainly a talent that Jon McNaughton has.
Help me out on this one before we move on. In the very, very bottom of the frame on the right, there's an old lady holding a thing. What is that? Do you have any idea what she's holding?
Is it her back turned to us?
No. That's a baby. The woman,
she's got like a piece of bread or
facing
something.
us, and it looks like she's holding a human brain.
Yeah, I didn't write down who she was. She has a name, and she's some historical figure that didn't matter enough to mention.
It was a tumor that was removed.
She's holding a tumor. It's not a tumor. So let's move on. If you're oh shoot, I lost my thread here. Do you ever wonder what Jon McNaughton decided to paint in the era of mass shootings and police violence? Well, wonder no more with Stand Your Ground.
Yes.
We have a beefy white man holding,
and lady Stand Your Ground.
Yeah, that's Take Your Stand. So it's basically the same picture with one woman and one man each holding Old Glory in their left. Yeah. And the man is holding an AR-15 in the other hand. That's right, the weapon of choice by nearly all school shooters, because that's who this fucking guy is.
Right.
And it must be mentioned that the woman is holding a SIG 5.56, because misidentifying a gun to these people is tantamount to getting their kids' gender wrong.
Right.
So, sorry, black people, you don't get any guns.
Right.
Nope.
Both
that
of them
would be crazy.
Both of them also have a sidearm attached to their
Oh, that's
hip.
true. Yeah, they do.
I'm just going to point that out. in case they run out of the big bullets.
Yeah.
Freedom isn't free, Dan.
No, those bullets are expensive.
Well, let's move on to the Obama period and start with
God.
the Forgotten Man.
Yeah.
The Forgotten Man's going to be a recurring character in McNaughton's work, and he guesses as to his race.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like he skipped a word.
Oh, it is the long-established opinion of this podcast that it's pretty hard out there for a white man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We have the white man sitting on a park bench while Obama stands nearby, literally standing on the Constitution.
Yes, his arms are folded and he's gazing sternly off into the distance.
Yeah.
And one of our founding fathers, I'm not sure which one, is that John Adams?
It is James Madison.
James Madison, crouching down, indicating to the Constitution, like, what are you doing? Look, it's right there. What are you doing? You're standing on it.
And why? What is there a particular meaning to why Obama is staring steadfastly in such a strange direction? Is he looking toward Kenya?
No, that's got to be true, right?
He's facing Mecca.
He's got to be looking east.
Or Mecca.
So McNaughton's quote for when you hover over Obama, it says, "Mr. President, what have you done?"
Oh my God, I love it. And here's what I really love about this: unlike the previous paintings, except for the two soldiers holding their assault rifles, there was always at least one, probably two, black faces in the crowd that were meant to be good people.
Right.
There are no black faces in this crowd.
There's a reason for that. That crowd is made up of all 44 presidents.
Oh.
And they are standing, and this is true, left to right, depending on their views of taxation.
Oh my God.
Fuck off.
I'm not kidding.
Fuck off.
And there's money strewn on the ground.
Of course, there's just money.
And there's a very sad white guy sitting on a park bench being ignored by everyone except, or rather being ignored only by Mr. Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
After he has had literally centuries of being treated great by all of these other presidents.
Tell you, no one knows what it's like. If you're a fan of subtlety, these next three works are for you. We have a trio of paintings that really sum up his Obama period.
I don't remember the second one.
Okay. We have One Nation Under Socialism featuring Obama holding and pointing to a burning constitution.
Yeah.
Oh, the metaphor.
As if to say, in case you didn't notice, it's on fire.
Yes, right. We have The Demise of America featuring Obama fiddling while Washington burns in the background.
Yeah, he's literally
sitting on a is that a folding fishing chair?
Or no, it's like one of the chairs that you see in like an elementary school or something.
Right.
Yeah. And look, those pant cuffs are not from that decade.
Well, there's
the
that.
bell bottoms that Obama's wearing.
Also, let's just be clear. Obama was a dapper enough gentleman that he knew to unbutton his jacket when he sat.
That's right.
That's right.
And now we have Obama's foreign policy, my favorite of this period.
Amazing.
We have a smiling Obama having just completed a jaunty golf swing. Also, the ball is still teed up in front of him, but that's quibbling.
Right.
With a nuclear mushroom cloud rising behind him.
And missiles inbound.
Yes, indeed. It's kind of amazing. What I love about this is that the golf swing is both beginning and ending at the same time.
Yeah.
His feet are in a position that can only indicate that he has just completed his swing, but the club is actually teed up to be swung. So, or actually he's left-handed, so maybe he did complete the swing and just missed the ball.
You have put more thought into this painting than Jon McNaughton did.
Remember, guys, when the greatest presidential sin was golfing too much?
Oh my God!
It was simpler times.
Do you remember
wasn't
when
it?
our current president completely criticized Obama for golfing too much? Do you remember when that happened?
Endlessly, yeah, endlessly.
That was cute.
Well, let's close out the Obama period with this last one. Let's check in on the Forgotten Man, who has been transformed into the Empowered Man.
Yes.
He unburned it.
That's right. Here, the male equivalent of Meghan McCain holds aloft the Constitution as Obama cowers in fear, and the founding fathers rejoice.
I mean, Obama's kind of doing this both hands up, but it's like, but the look on his face is like, dude, just relax.
It looks like you waved garlic at a vampire.
Right. Well, the guy's probably empowered because he finally got fucking health care and got his diabetes taken care of. So now he's ready to be a right-wing Christian warrior against taxation.
Right.
I love it. It's all makes sense.
All right.
It's amazing.
Let's jump into the Trump period. He really hits his stride here, serving up some really dense content.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
How about Trump wiping mud off a tattered flag on a football field in Respect the Flag?
Yeah,
Probably using it to wipe his dick off.
Oh my God.
well, we can't see where the dick would be, so it's very, very possible.
How
You
about
got to love the football field reference
Of
because,
course.
of course, this is a reference to the players taking knees during the national anthem.
Yeah.
and just it's such a strange vision of Trump just wiping dirt off a flag.
He's holding it to his chest
Yeah.
and then wiping the part in front, like he's wiping it. He's using himself as, I don't know. It's a very bizarre image.
Then we have Trump teaching a man to fish in the very interestingly named
Yes.
painting, Teach a Man to Fish.
Yeah.
Trump, who surely has his only experience with the outdoors is on a golf course.
Exactly.
Which is
He's never gone fishing in his life.
is made eminently clear by the fact that he is in full suit and tie for his fishing
Right.
trip.
He couldn't even put him in a fishing jacket. Then we've got Expose the Truth, showing
This is amazing.
Trump holding Robert Mueller by the tie and jamming a magnifying glass in his face.
Right.
Yes.
What's he trying to say?
As if to say, you need to do something about these pores.
Yeah. This tough guy, like, honestly, okay, I don't love war. I don't think we should do it. But Trump had bone spurs, which weren't real because a podiatrist was renting an office from his dad and he gave him free rent to
Yeah.
write that fucking certificate. And Robert Mueller hurt his knee playing lacrosse in college and worked with a doctor so he could qualify to go to Vietnam.
Where he earned a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart. Yep.
That's right. So I just want to get the tough guy narrative completely
Well,
correct.
and
here.
it persists in the Trump period because we have crossing the swamp. Here we have
This is
we have
amazing.
Trump like Washington crossing the Delaware,
Right.
standing erect, well, flaccid in a boat. Along for the ride are Ben Carson, Mike Pence, Melania and Ivanka,
Carson.
Mike Pompeo, John Bolton,
Oh my God.
Kellyanne Conway, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Can I just say that John Bolton in this painting is my favorite thing that has ever happened
I know.
on a canvas in ever.
It's fantastic.
John Bolton,
It's such the crazy old man.
who already looks like, your uncle that you don't let the kids hang out with, but
Yeah.
now he's got a rifle in hand. Unlike Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's actually rowing the boat, he's got a rifle in hand, looking out like, "You're gonna, you get off my land, you bastards! I'll kill you all, you sons of
Totally.
bitches."
Not only does he look like he was just unmasked by Scooby and the gang,
Yes.
he's looking the wrong way with his gun.
Yeah. Well, there is that. And also, by the way,
Well,
they're
That's what he's always done, isn't it? John Bolton's always looking to the wrong country with his gun.
and the gator infested swamp that they're traversing is directly in front of the Capitol,
Yeah.
the national Capitol.
Who's holding the flag? Is that Pence? I
Probably.
think that's Pence. I think he's hiding his bonus.
Yeah,
because
exactly
that way
right.
he stares at the back of Trump's head.
And Melania has her typical "I hate this man" look on her face, which I love.
Totally.
We've also
I'll tell you what, if you got to make your way through a swamp, I'll bet Sarah Huckabee Sanders is pretty useful.
I want her
I'll bet
pulling
she
my
knows what's
oars
up.
for show.
Yeah. She knows what's
she
up.
can wrestle and cook a gator in 30 seconds.
Oh my God, this next one is
I know. The next one is Trump playing old-timey football in
unbelievable.
All-American Trump, leaving Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, and Joe Biden in the dust.
By the way, if
Chuck
you're gonna
Schumer with his reading glasses on.
if you're gonna play football, leather helmeted old timey football against any three people, I'd put my wager against. Look, I am not in great shape, but you put those three up against me, and I will clobber them. So no great victory on that front. But the look on Trump's face. Look, McNaughton's actually a decent technician with his paint.
Yeah, he can capture a likeness.
He does a good job.
Yeah, he's good at getting a likeness.
In this one, nobody looks like anything.
I know.
He was half-assing this so fucking hard.
His art, honestly, in the Trump period, has taken a marked downward turn for real.
Yeah.
It's gotten much worse. And he like that earlier stuff. There was a little bit of kind of grandeur to it, and the light was decent,
Yeah.
but here the brushstrokes are just super inarticulate and smushy
It's
and
sloppy.
Yeah.
Trump looks like Biff from Back to the Future.
Exactly. Well,
It's hard for McNaughton to paint when he's orgasming this hard. I think.
My personal favorite of this period is one called National Emergency. Here we have Trump, head bowed in prayer, still somehow looking like he's never done it before.
Right.
With a weirdly tightly packed group of Democrats behind him, all standing on an American flag.
And holding a Mexican flag.
That's what I love. In this group, we have Bernie holding a Russian flag, Elizabeth Warren holding an EU flag, Nancy and Chuck proudly holding a Mexican flag.
Right.
Hillary's got an Iranian flag. Obama's got a UN flag, and Maxine Waters has a California flag.
The enemy California.
Right. And the crux of this one is that there is a horde of illegals crossing the border in the background.
Browns. And Trump is staring compassionately at a lost baby doll on the ground. You see that down there?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah. Because he cares so much for these children he's about to put in cages and sell to Christian adoption agencies, never to return to their families.
And what modern Republican fever dream or sad orgasm would there be without AOC tossed in there? Where's she? She's in there. She's not holding a flag.
Oh, there she is. She's got there's a Palestinian flag back there.
Was she added in later? I feel like she was.
Maybe she was. Okay, this most recent one, guys, this is the one ridiculous. I saw online that made me think we should talk about old Jimmy McNaughton.
This one
I have no words.
It's very clear now that he has lost his fucking mind.
Right.
Because this one, he's not making any political statement.
Nope.
He's not, there's no message here other than just Trump! Woo!
Yep. It's called MAGA Ride.
Oh my God!
I can't describe it. I can't.
It is Trump on probably one of the last American-made Harley Davidsons after his economic policies have shut down their plant.
Right.
And a woman touching him, so that can't be Melania.
Though
I don't know who that is.
Right.
So probably someone that Michael Cohen paid off.
It is Evel Knievel's bike. It is all red, star-spangled and red, white, and blue, with a giant flag pole coming out the back of it with a flag attached. And do you notice that the front fender kind of looks like Trump's hair? It's the shape of Trump's hair.
It does have that wonderful little lilt at the back.
Look at the echo he put in the work. Yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but in the cracks in the road below it says MAGA.
Oh, it does say that. And
fuck off.
And I'm just going to point out that in the background there are all these people in the red hat, and that's got to be Kanye on the left.
It's Kanye.
No,
I was going to say, do you guys see Yeezy standing there?
That's got to be Kanye, and
it's totally Kanye.
And he would never wear that vest thing, but
no,
that's Kanye. I love it. It's amazing. And again, driving in front of our nation's Capitol building.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the comedy of watching Donald Trump try to drive a motorcycle?
Oh my God.
Oh, please, someone get him to do it. Please, someone.
Like putting a little piglet on a bike and seeing if it could.
Wasn't there a time when Trump got into a truck and then didn't know what to do with it?
Yeah, I tell you,
he was so excited.
He looked like an Ewok on a speeder bike for sure. So what's weird about this is he does have some paintings about Mormon church history, but they're really disappointing. He has mostly landscapes depicting early church history sites like Adam-on-Diamond, Nauvoo, Kirtland, St. George, but they're just middling landscapes. They're not really great. He only has 2 paintings that I could find from the Book of Mormon, a very poor depiction of Lehi's dream, and one of Mormon himself writing on the gold plates.
With a kid under his table.
Is there a kid under there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Moroni. That's young Moroni.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So that's it, right? Do we get Nephi crossing the Atlantic? Nope. Ammon chopping off bags of Lamanite arms? The Jaredite submarines? No. For some reason, this addled brain looked at the Book of Mormon and was like, it's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
or it's just not. It's not crazy enough.
Well, every now
the Trump thing is fulfilling his crazy.
Every now and then it feels a little too liberal.
Do you think that when he first saw Donald Trump, it was like that scene in Boogie Nights where Philip Seymour Hoffman sees Mark Wahlberg for the first time, and the iris just goes just right around him, and then he tries to imitate him for the rest of his life?
Oh my God,
that's what I think it's like.
Go.
That's what I think it's like.
So if I had to critique the whole of McNaughton's work, I would probably quote Arthur Dent. When forced at gunpoint to critique Prostetnik Vogan Jeltz's poetry, quote, I thought that some of the metaphysical imagery was really particularly effective and interesting rhythmic devices, too, which seemed to counterpoint the surrealism of the underlying metaphor of the humanity of the artist's compassionate soul, which contrives through the medium of the composition to sublimate this, transcend that, and come to terms with the fundamental dichotomies of the other, and one is left with a profound and vivid insight into whatever it was this painting was about. So I'll just leave you with one last thing, this fantastic tidbit from his process. Quote, when I work on a painting with many figures, I usually pose models and photograph them and then paint them as I see them in my mind. So John, if you're listening, and I know you are, I want to be a character in one of your paintings.
Yes.
Surely you will have need of portly liberal podcaster.
Yeah, make us your horrible liberal atheists.
Yeah, I mean, if you need Vader without the mask, Uncle Mark is available. If you need surprisingly good transvestite, I'll put a word in with Uncle Dan. Come on, John, I don't ask for much, please.
Yeah, put me standing on the Emancipation Proclamation or something.
Right.
I don't know.
I will be squatting and taking a deuce on whatever document you need.
Well,
exactly right. The Louisiana Purchase.
I'll be looking.
Well
I'll
done.
be looking, gazing on joyfully at the Teapot Dome scandal.
Yeah. Well, Doug, this has really been a terrible use of our time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's quickly move on before another painting happens. Oh, gentlemen.
hello.
We could do this for nothing and feel woefully undersatisfied. But we don't have to do that because some people are generous and kind and have decided that listening to us is worth their while, and they've decided to donate. So
That's right.
We've got some beautiful people who have jumped in to carry the banner, and we need to thank them.
Let's do it.
So,
Indeed.
I'm going to start by thanking Jacob, who is one of our newest, and then we got to saint some folks.
Holy smokes.
Yes, indeed. So, Mark, I need you to provide an impromptu, on-the-fly saint for Mark, your namesake.
Mark, well, that's almost enough of a saint as it is to share that blessed name with me.
Done and done.
And so, well, Mark, I'm going to let you in on a secret that I have a patron saint of my own, and that patron saint is Saint Rick of Peloponnesia. And Saint Rick, why I venerate Saint Rick is because he is the patron saint of aluminum extrusion, of sunny Saturdays stuck inside, and of staph infection. So it's all covered. It's all there. Please enjoy Saint Rick.
Wow, that is
Enjoy.
great.
Yeah.
Mark, you're a very, very lucky man. But not as lucky, I think, as Jason, who's going to get a saint from Uncle Doug.
Holy cow. Jason, all right. Your saint is going to be Saint, very important to you, Saint Maximilian of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
The Dale.
The Dale.
Sure.
Can't beat the Dale. Maximilian is the patron saint of runaway goiters, alternative pregnancies, and golf cart related accidents.
Nice.
Oh,
Alternative
yeah. You know what?
pregnancies. Those are the best kind. Yeah.
We don't know what they mean,
But they have a patron saint.
Yeah.
but they have a saint, and that is now yours, Jason. And
Congratulations, Jason.
I also have to give a saint
Oh.
to Real Dank Wins.
Yeah.
And Real Dank Wins, your patron saint is Saint Quetzalcoatl of Tenochtitlan.
Sure.
Who is the patron saint of chiseling into stone, colorful fabrics, and strangely television antennas. I'm not sure where that one came from, but
I think it all makes
well
sense.
done.
I think it all makes sense.
it comes together nicely.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow, 3 saints in a row. I think that might be a first.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Excellent.
What this means is that these fellas, these people, these kind-hearted souls, all decided that they needed to pony up and be part of the revolution, which means that they just decided to give us money. So if you want to do the same, which you should, go to howtoheretic.com and click on the support tab or whatever it is that we have there.
Yeah.
And that'll take you, and then it's easy. You just sign up. You choose the level at which you sign up, and we choose the level at which we're grateful.
That's right. You just put the bank account number and then the transfer number in there, and we just wire it all over. It's going to be great. And
Give us your information. We'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure out what to do with it. But I'm pretty sure that a Nigerian prince that we know will make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
If you're willing.
And we'll put you in contact with him. And if you can't talk directly to the Nigerian prince, you can certainly go to anywhere. You can give us 5-star reviews. It's amazing. We've had a nice spate of those, and it's really encouraging. And it means we aren't shouting into the wilderness
right now
without any sort of love coming back. So we love you. Thanks for your patronage and everything you do. And let's move on. Uncles.
Hello.
Hey there, fellas. We have a very special guest today, and I'm very excited to have this conversation. I think it's going to be a really cool thing for our listeners and maybe even us. We have a former Pentecostal minister, now turned atheist, and a man here to share a pretty amazing story with us. His name is Dave Warnock, who is clearly a man of poor judgment, as he is spending some of his very finite time here with we three jackasses. Dave, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. Now, just so you know, we have a segment we do here on the show, and it's actually the segment we take our catchy little name from. And it's a how-to segment for people leaving or who've recently left religion and have no tools or training
or
how to
who
do a
left
certain
religion
thing.
a long time ago and they just don't know what the fuck they're doing even then.
So things like how to drink or how to watch R-rated movies or how to read for pleasure, etc. But today's may be our most significant how-to, which until we come up with a different name for it, the working title is How to Die, or how to contend with your own death and how to be the best sort of friend and ally and partner to somebody going through that process. So I wonder, Dave, if before we get to the heart of that subject, if you could give us a few minutes on your super interesting journey from a Pentecostal church to atheism.
Yes, that was a long journey. I was converted as in the Jesus movement in the 70s.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, got caught up in the charismatic Jesus movement as an 18-year-old, impressionable, vulnerable young man. So I rode that wave for the next 3.5 decades or so. And
oh my God!
And my life was in 2 or 3 different congregations of what mostly evangelical, charismatic, independent, non-denominational type churches. That's a lot of different names to describe churches that are led by a charismatic leader who rules the world that everyone lives in, and it's very unhealthy and very rife with abuse of all kinds.
Right.
But that was something
which
I
is
wasn't
shocking.
aware
Who
of.
would have thought that could happen?
I know, right?
You're breaking news here, Dave.
You give
Christian context. That
you
seems
give a
impossible.
guy, you give a guy power and he abuses it. Who would think, right?
Right.
Now, when you joined the Jesus movement, do they give you a tambourine or do you have to buy it? Like,
Yeah,
what's the?
no, it grows out of your hand.
Okay, perfect.
It's something that the Holy Spirit does.
It's very natural.
and that's an indicator of someone who's truly in the faith. If they grow a tambourine, if you don't, then you really never
Right.
did believe.
Right.
When
exactly.
you're born again, your hands start turning into
Exactly.
instruments. It's nice.
It's beautiful. So that was my life for my complete adult life, from the age of 18 to about the age of 56 or 55, and that was about 7 years ago.
And that's not just as a believer. You were a pro.
I was a professional Christian, yes. The difference between an amateur and a professional is the professional gets paid.
Right.
So and it was off and on. It wasn't like this arc of you go to seminary and become a minister and you're a minister for however many years. I was a lay leader many times. I had my own businesses often. I worked as on staff at churches at different times, and so it was up and down, in and out, just a hodgepodge of some kind of a weird life that I just got. It just rolls along, and then after all those decades in it, and living and raising a family in it, and finally coming to the conclusion that it's all false, it's quite a shocking development, to be honest.
That is a hell of a thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
When your whole life is tied up into a thing, and I think a lot of our listeners can identify with that. When your whole life is tied up with a thing, it's literally got tendrils running through every part of your existence. And then you go, "Oh shit, what if this isn't real?" That's a hell of a thing.
And everybody you know's in it, and everybody you know's living in the bubble and thinks alike and talks alike, and all of a sudden you don't, and you try to identify with them, and it's like you're now speaking to aliens, and it's very disorienting because you don't. I didn't know anyone on a personal level that had been through it, so I start looking online to try to find connections with people, and it was a very traumatic, disorienting period of time.
Can I ask you what was the thing that kind of set this path in motion for you?
It was a personal loss in a time when I thought, okay, God, you need to help me out here with my daughters. And I wasn't getting anything out of God. I wasn't getting anything out of church leaders denominationally and locally. And I just was crying out. And, people cry out to God all the time without answers, obviously, because he's not there. But it was something I guess there was a tipping point. It's death of a thousand cuts. We've heard it said, and it's just this, that over years, you wonder about this and you question that, and this doesn't add up and that doesn't match up and this doesn't fit. And you tamp it down, you push it aside. And finally, one of these days you just go, wait just a fucking minute. And it was kind of that way. And so I started really researching the origins of the Bible, the origins of the church.
Oh, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, and
there you go.
My sister-in-law was telling my wife at the time, "Don't let him read those things. That's bad."
Right?
And it's like he's
I
going
mean, she wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't, and she knew where it would take me, and she was scared shitless. So I, just after a couple of years, that wasn't a quick thing. It was not. It was excruciating. I was very thorough in my journey, and I came to the abrupt conclusion that, well, okay, he's not there. This isn't real. The Bible's just a book. It's written by men. It's all bullshit, and I'm pissed.
Yeah. Fortunately for you, though, you were among Christians who obviously, because they've been told by their God to be loving, were nothing but kind and generous to you, right? That's got to be the case, right?
It is. Yeah, I think that's everyone's experience, right?
For sure.
No one pushes back. They say, okay, that's fine. Whatever you think is cool. Want to go get pizza? No, it was harsh. I lost a lot of friends, lost relationship with my daughters. It's people don't know what to do with it, and so many people's response is to run and hide from it.
Right.
And I've come to the conclusion that many people do that because deep down somewhere they're afraid it could happen to them, and they cannot expose themselves to it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a tremendous amount of insecurity and fear that if you look too deeply, in Mormonism they call it their shelf breaking, right? They put so much doubt and so much shit up on their shelf for years, and one day it all just breaks.
Yeah. And people who knew me well, family and friends, they knew I was not in this thing half-hearted. I was all in all the way. And if someone like me who was all in could lose it, then what's that mean for them? And so they just kind of skirt away from it and just kind of, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it is a guess of mine that as we get deeper into this conversation, we're going to find that that's a theme, that running away from the scary parts of life and the parts that we don't understand, it happens a lot with religious people.
And now that we're kind of at that point, Dave, maybe I can take in the voice of one of your former friends or family members from the church. Do you want to talk a little bit about how God is punishing you for your apostasy now?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I really want to talk about that because that's an appropriate response to this. When I got the diagnosis, I did ask God to take it away, and He didn't. So, no, I didn't.
Dick move.
I didn't actually.
Dick move.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've had people ask me. The old phrase, "There's no atheist in foxholes."
Which is bullshit. Yep.
And so I've had people say, okay, well, did you think then? What if I've made a bad mistake? What if it's true and I believe I didn't? I lost. What is this? Is God punishing? All that shit. But no, it didn't. None of that stuff came to me. I didn't think that for a second.
Right.
So you've mentioned a diagnosis. Tell us what have you been diagnosed with?
Well, it's called ALS, which I can't pronounce what those letters stand for. People know it commonly as Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's a fatal disease. You're given 3 to 5 years to live, and it's a disease that attacks the neurological disease that attacks the muscles. The nerves quit telling the muscles what to do, and so they just die. And it starts in the extremities, usually hands or feet. Sometimes it starts in the tongue, but eventually it gets to all those areas, and then to the lungs, and then you die.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fun.
No.
That sounds like a less than fun thing to have told that you're experiencing.
Yeah, and the medical community does not offer a lot of hope, as in zero. So even some drugs that are on the horizon, that are some therapies that are in clinical trials and have shown to be some promise. The by and large, the medical community poo-poos that and just tells you that there's really nothing we can do for you, and you need to go ahead and put your clothes on and go home and die. They're kinder about it than that. Well,
I'd say fuck you. I'm leaving my clothes here. I'm going home naked.
What do I have to lose, right?
Tell me what to do.
I ain't got time for this shit.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of. My neurologist that diagnosed me was pretty much that abrupt. Yeah, you have you have ALS, and there was a pause there, and he says, I said, oh, okay, well, I wanted to know, and he said, okay, yeah, well, your exit is right around that corner. The elevator's over there.
What?
And
my God!
I said, so you want me to put my clothes on? Yeah, go ahead. And
holy shit!
And then he left.
That is a hell of a bedside manner right there.
Yeah. Well, neurologists are kind of known for that, is what I've come to understand.
Wow.
But no, there's just there wasn't any. Hell, somebody that's not mentally as stable as I am. I'm a stable genius, by the way. I don't know if that's in your show notes or not.
Excellent.
But somebody who's really emotionally fragile, they can go out and jump off a fucking bridge with that kind of thing. You might want to offer a little emotional support here, Doc.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's
Here's the number for a therapist.
Exactly.
At least.
Right, or direct you somewhere where you can, kind of wrap your head around this.
Exactly. But no, that's
so.
the kind of thing that the medical community's done with ALS. It's just kind of this thing that they don't understand, and there's not any treatment for it that's proven effective. There's no cure. It's kind of where HIV was 30 years ago or 20 years ago. It's just that, oh, you got this, you're going to die. But
Right.
but they found a way to manage that, and there is hope that they're finding they will find something. I believe I believe in science.
Right.
Science usually figures it out. You give enough time, So at some point they'll figure out some ways to manage it, and I'm just kind of hoping to buy enough time to be a part of that.
Right.
So in the meantime, Dave, what is it? You've kind of chosen a way to manage this experience. Do you want to talk about what that is and kind of how you've decided to engage with this prognosis?
Carpe the fucking diem. That's the phrase that I'm saying a lot. And when I got the diagnosis, I was stunned. I knew that something was wrong with me, and I knew that was certainly on the table. The Google can be your best friend or worst enemy. So I knew I knew that this was in the cards, perhaps. But when I got it, okay, now I know what this is. Now I've got to decide what I want to do. And so what I did in pretty short order is I retired from working. I was doing it, had an insurance business, and I shut that down and retired. I moved out of my apartment in with some friends, and I began to sell things and streamline my life and simplify my life, and just get myself in a position where I can live life the best I can, as long as I can, and that's
Yeah.
been my focus. Travel to places I want to see. I just got back from Amalfi Coast, Italy, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah.
Spend time with people that I love and care about. Quality time with friends and loved ones, and just soak up life, and live it hard, live it well, as long as I can. And so that's kind of been my message, and to not get caught up in the periphery that we get caught up in. That's the focus.
It's
Yeah.
so funny because we get because
That is funny.
Hilarious. We get this message from the religious segments of society that say, well, we have the answers when it comes to living and dying, and we know the real secrets. And then you look at how their message affects them living their lives, and what you just said is not what they come up with. That's not
Totally.
the answer that they come up with.
Well, no, it's not. And one reason I believe that is, and what I've seen in this process that I've been in the last few months is, and the difference in the way that the Christians respond to it and the way the atheists respond to it has been pretty stark. And I think the reason for that is, and it's what I've come to call a fetish for the afterlife. And the evangelical brand of Christianity has a fetish for the afterlife, so much so that they lose sight of the beauty and preciousness of this life. And so when everything is focused on the life to come and eternity, by default, it's going to minimize this life. And so when they see this life ending, they don't know what to do with that. And so all they can
Right.
do is say, I'm praying for you, and you'll go to a better place or whatever. Well, not in my case. I'm going to a worse place. But you would think that they would ramp up their efforts to reach me, but they haven't. It's been crickets.
Wow.
Well,
that's
I mean,
insane.
it's achingly tragic from the perspective of how they're wasting, as we're pretty certain, the one life they get.
Right.
And it's deeply sad that even in, what they would call your hour of need, they don't know how to be available to you. And I've heard you talk on other shows, Dave, about how the difference between how the Christians in your life and the non-believers in your life react differently.
Yeah.
And can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's just, I guess the best. I'll just give you a little anecdote. A few weeks after the diagnosis, I got an accidental phone call from my brother. My older brother, who led me into the Jesus movement, is an evangelical pastor in East Texas. Been doing that for his whole life, and he's very conservative, very fundamentalist. He had texted me a day or so after and said, "Heard the news, brother. Been praying ever since." Okay, well, thank you for that passive aggressive fucking message, because you know how I feel about that. But I just said thanks
Right.
and moved on. I wanted to say, "What are you praying?" actually, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So then I get this accidental phone call a couple weeks later from him, and it was just this weird. I'll just kind of describe it as it played out. I saw the name come up on my phone, and I saw it as a missed call, and so I just called him back. I said, "Oh, he tried to call me and I didn't hear it. Whatever." So I called him back and I said, "Hey, brother, what's up?" He said, "Oh yeah, hey Dave, yeah man, yeah, I didn't mean to call you. I was trying to call my wife, and y'all's numbers are right next to each other, and I hit that by accident." And I said, "Okay."
Okay, bye.
No,
Great.
I said, "Okay." And then I didn't say anything else. And I let that awkward silence hang there. And it felt like 5 minutes, but it was probably 20 seconds. There was nothing. He had nothing to fucking say to his dying brother.
A fucking
And I-
all the people a pastor
Exactly.
should
You
be
talk
able
for
to
a living.
summon up some fucking compassion or something.
Just lie about it. Just lie and say, "Oh, we're praying for you. We love you.
We love you. I'm
know.
so sorry. Anything." But no, I didn't. And I didn't bail him out of this awkward silence. I just said, "Oh," because I knew it was happening immediately. And I just I probably had a smile on my face. I was probably enjoying it way too much. But I could just see that there was this awkward tone there. He doesn't know what to say. He knows that he can't go into his religious diatribe with me, because we've done a couple of those since my deconversion, and it wasn't pretty.
You're immune."
It wasn't
Yeah.
pretty. We're both very opinionated. We both he knows I can go toe to toe with him on all of that shit. So he
Of
tries.
course you can.
He tends to avoid that now. So he had nothing to say. He didn't, So finally he said, "Yeah. So how are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm dying.
Oh.
But other than that, I'm fine."
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah, exactly. And he said, "Oh, yeah, man. Oh, really sorry. Anyway, yeah, I didn't mean to call you." And he was and he started trying to back out and close it down. And I didn't bail him out. He hung up, and I haven't heard from him since. That was
my
probably
God.
2 months ago. And I thought, what the actual hell? What is wrong with these people? And there's
So-
just no sense of how to embrace me in this moment. Whereas my atheist friends, they're like, "Dave, I love you. We're heartbroken. Let me come hang out with you. Come hang out with us. Let's go do this. Let's go do that." They're calling me. They're texting me. "Hey, man, thinking about you today. How you feeling?" Just letting me know that they're thinking about me. That's really, and they'll say things like, "Dude, I have no words, but I'm just thinking about you." And you know what? That's the truth. There are no words. But at
Right,
least say, "I have no words." Don't just not have words. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I think that's interesting because what it shows is that, like, I feel like what it shows is that the religious people, if you don't buy into their cosmology, they literally don't know how to human anymore.
That's
like
right.
they have lost touch with the here and the now.
Exactly.
And I think those of us who have given up on religion have come to terms with the fact that here and now is all we fucking have.
Exactly. No,
So
I
is
think
the
you nailed it.
origin-
You nailed it.
Oh, I apologize.
They don't know how to human anymore. They don't know how to be human. They're so
Yeah.
caught up in their ideology and their fantasy world, and it's so focused on heaven and the afterlife or hell if you're bent that way. But they don't know how to be human. They don't know how to connect on a human level. And so because they don't know how and because it's so fucking awkward, they just don't do it. It's just a
Right,
void. Just avoid it.
So is
Yeah.
the origin of your dispute with your brother, the falling out with your brother, is that because of your departure from religion?
Oh, yeah. When
What a
he
tragedy.
first knew, I mean, he doesn't shun me. If I called him, he'd answer and we'd have a conversation. But we have nothing to talk about because he's
Right.
he's concerned that I'm going to hell. And when I first went through this process and he knew I'd lost my faith and was calling myself an atheist, he was all up in my business trying to reconvert me and trying to persuade me and convince me that I was, "Well, Dave, have you thought about this?" And I said, "Yes, 100 times." "Have you thought about this?" "Yes, 1,000 times." "What about this?" "Well, you don't know what that means." And so we would have these 2 or 3 hour knockdown drag out, and neither one would budge. And so it became this stalemate of, okay, I'll just leave you alone then. And that's kind of
Sure.
where it's
Yeah.
at. It's been there for several years now.
I feel
Well-
like the first phase of new atheism is banging your head against a bunch of other people's walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then finally just learning that those walls are pretty impregnable.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Don't waste
So
your time.
I have a kind of a follow up to the way your brother, that's the anecdote with your brother and everything. And I think this is hugely important. Look, we're all going to die. We're all in the process because
Wait, what?
death begins at conception. You asshole.
That's right.
So, but for those of us who are a little bit behind, and there's a loved one going there ahead of us, a friend going there ahead of us, do you have advice to give to people how to be the best friend, to be the best kind of ally, to be the best kind of, partner in this process?
Just be present. Be mindfully present. Again, it's easy. It's okay to say I don't have words, and then just be there and sit there, and just be willing to ride that out with you. I've got a group of friends in Nashville. They're all ex-Christian atheists. 3, 4 of us are ex-clergy,
Wow.
and they're truly my best friends in this world. And then my girlfriend Bevan, she's right alongside, and we're walking through this together, and she's doggedly searching for anything and everything that can prolong the days, and I'm all about that. My friends in this gives you a classic example of a moment, the things that I talk about all the time, grabbing the moments and making the most of them. These buddies, three of these buddies were out the other night, several weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, I can't remember now. And just having a drink and talking, and I think there was a ball game on. We were out at a bar, and and Brian, my buddy, one of my buddies, ex-pastor, says, Dave, I just want to ask you something. And I said, what? He said, can I have permission to be there with you at the end?
Wow.
And I said, are you serious? You want to do that? And he said, it would be an honor.
Wow.
And the other two guys said, me too. We want to be there. And that is what it means to be present with someone, is to be fully engaged and unafraid and courageous enough, because they're the ones, that have to deal with the shit, and I'm the one moving on, and they got to then pick up the pieces and move on, and that's some hard stuff.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they wanted to they're embracing it. They're not afraid of it. And I find that kind of love and courage to be so inspiring.
Do you think he's just trying to jump ahead in the will?
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm.
He wants first dibs of whatever's in the room.
Yeah. He just wants to take my watch and yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And there'll probably be some pills there that he's after, if I know this guy.
Well,
so.
he's actually my supplier for anything of any contraband anyway, so he's already got
Nice.
He's already got that going on.
We'll edit that out. We'll cut that out. I don't want you spending some beautiful days in jail if you have
What's
so few
what's
of
his phone number?
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So oh, go ahead.
Well, that's just the kind of people I'm surrounded by. And we mentioned the documentary, and one of the big things I want to try to show, if we get this documentary going, I want footage of atheists. I want people to know that atheists are good people. I want this whole notion of the word atheist being a dirty word. I want that gone. And the only way we're going to get rid of it is to speak about it openly and to say, yes, I'm an atheist. It just simply means I don't believe in God. I'm not a bad person. I'm kind. I'm loving. I mean, the people that I'm living with, the people I live with in the Nashville area, they're atheists. They're how can they be kind and loving? They don't believe in God. Well, how can they have morals?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to show that. You guys people need to see that atheists are good people. Period. End of story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some shitty atheists out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's more shitty Christians.
You know what? I'll take it.
Just by sheer
I'll take
numbers,
it.
that has to be true,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a volume game.
The volume.
I'll totally
It's
take
a numbers game, man.
That's right.
On the subject of like, I've had people tell me I'm being an inspiration to them, and they think about my perspective on things. So we have in Nashville, a local group of ex-Christian atheists it's kind of a meetup, a support group, if you will. And there's probably 50 of them in the group, but on any given month we'll have a meeting of 15 or 20 people, and it's really great. People just check in on how their life is going, what's going on in their lives, that sort of thing. But we had a meeting about a week after the diagnosis, and everybody it was really an emotional night, and people were just talking about how it was affecting them and what they were thinking about and stuff like that. A lot of tears, a lot of crying. Because I'm a big fucking deal, just so you know. But one of the ladies, actually her and her husband met us over there in Italy. We saw them in Italy, in Naples. But she was just talking about going through one of her typical days and just getting frustrated about stuff in life that happens. And she caught herself and she paused and she said, how would Dave do about this? How would Dave handle this? Would he get upset, frustrated? I mean, he's dying. Come on, he wouldn't. So she it had a different perspective on the annoying things that happen in everyday life, And then someone
Oh, I love it.
someone across the room said, "Yeah, what would Dave do?" And then someone else yelled out, "Yeah, WWDD." And they said, "We made bracelets. We need bracelets." So we now have WWDD bracelets that are focused on that thought. Okay, how to carpe the fucking diem, how to think more thoughtfully about capturing the moments, not getting caught up in the mundane. And so we have those like on the website and stuff, and it's just kind of a fun thing we're doing. We're going to use money that comes in. If people buy them, people want to buy them. I've had people reach out and say, "Dave, we want to buy some bracelets. I want to give them away." And I'm kind of it was kind of weird at first for me, but I thought, you know what, it's in fun, and we're using the proceeds for medical costs as needed, and ALS research, which is always needed, and stuff like that. So it's just a fun thing that kind of came out of people's experience with reacting to this. And again, it's an example of how the atheists can just embrace it and go with it, and not be afraid of it, and not be in denial of it.
Well, and we'll have links to all of that. In the show notes.
Yeah, sounds good.
So Dave, I just so you carpe fucking diem is your credo. Right. I want to know, how are you doing that? In what way? What are you doing to get out there and grab the bull by the horns and seize the day?
Well, an example is the trip to Italy, because one mindset would say that's too hard. Travel is hard. It gets harder as time goes on, and international travel is exponentially harder. And so I had moments over there when, I overdid it, and I there was one day the hotel we're staying on was just on this cliffside on the Amalfi Coast, and it's just like 500 steps straight down to the beach.
Perfect for a guy with ALS.
Exactly. I had to make a decision. Okay, that's gonna really do a number on me, and it's gonna put me out of commission the next day, pretty much. I'm gonna have to recover a day after that, and I had to make a decision. Do I want to put myself through that to get down to the water and explore that and have some moments there? Or do I want to just, it's too easy, I'm going to go the comfortable route? Well, I just, the carpe the fucking diem in, okay, I've got a day here. I can seize this day, or I can take the safe, comfortable route and avoid this. And so I walked down the steps, and I had a couple hours down at the beach, had a drink, had a cigar, visited with my friends, had a beautiful day on the Mediterranean Ocean in Italy, and then climbed those stairs and was tired and sore the next day. But I had that beautiful memory. I had those wonderful moments, and that to me is an example of carpe the fucking diem.
I love it.
Well, I think that's as beautiful a place as any to leave this conversation for now, and hopefully you'll come back and have another one with us soon, Dave.
That'd be fun. You guys are fun.
We're the worst.
Yeah.
Just admit it.
You're the worst.
We're the worst.
Yeah.
I want to know this. When did you, as Mormons, ex-Mormons, realize you could say fuck and nothing bad would happen?
Younger than you think, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
We never said we were good at being Mormons. We just said we were that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Well,
right.
I've been accused of overusing the fucking word fucking, and so I think it's because I'm not making up for all those years when I really couldn't say it, except in secret.
Right.
Well, yeah. I just love that now you can look anybody you want in the eye. If they call you out on saying fuck him, just be like, I'm fucking dying, man. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I play that card all the time.
Yeah. I love
What an
it.
asshole. Who says a dying man can't be an asshole? And I think that's what we've gleaned from today's conversation, right?
Yeah.
That
What a
should be-
dick.
That should be the summary of the show right there.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. What a prick. Well, Dave, thank you so much for joining us. What a terrific, amazing story. And again, we want to have you back anytime you want to come back and let us
Yeah.
know.
Don't waste your time on this show.
Literally. Carpe diem and get out there and don't do this show again. But if you want to, we're here for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
man.
get the documentary and the book done and make another round of shows. That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
All right.
I love it. Best of luck with
Thank
all
you,
that.
buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Well, friends, that is it for this week's show.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. If you're dying or would like to, send us an email at howtoheretic.com.
Or if you want us to tell your loved ones anything in the final moments, you can leave us that on a voicemail at 903-88-HOW2, which is 903-884-6986. I'm also on Twitter at HowToHeretic.
Yeah, and also go to the Facebook page. Thanks so much to our patrons. You are wonderful and we love you.
Thanks to Cody Layton for editing the show.
And thank all of you for tuning in.
Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.